A reminder, the news doesn't end here. Here's what's coming up on WCNC Plus at 7 a.m. The longest shutdown in U.S. history is finally over.
The government's back open, but that doesn't mean everything's back to normal just yet. Coming up, how long it could take for paychecks and federal services to catch up.
People now bracing for possible Border Patrol operations right here in Charlotte.
I would say that there is a lot of fear and there is a lot of concern.
If they come in and wreak havoc and cause chaos and fear, we will be very concerned.
What border officials can and can't do when they arrive and why the governor and mayor can't stop them.
A major investment is coming to Mecklenburg County as Scout Motors plans to move in.
We need sales, we need marketing, we need software, we need AI, we need engineering. This place we think we can get the talent.
Why the $207 million project could mean more traffic and more opportunity for you.
And the 58th annual Southern Christmas Show kicks off today.
We have everything you need to know before you go. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up on WCNC Plus.
Good morning, everyone. We are in traffic alert this morning. This is a live camera of I-485 where we are having now all lanes open. They're all open. Earlier they were closed, but an Amazon truck caught on fire this morning, so delays are in place. Let's switch it over to my graphics. This is I-85, the inner loop, 67 to 65. That's where we do have those delays in place. Alternate route South Boulevard or take Highway 51 to I-77. We're seeing some improvements there on Dave Lyle Boulevard. That's there in Rock Hill. However, we now have those delays at Sutton Road. So following a lot this morning, you can see those delays. That's I-77 there, southbound approaching the Dave Lyle Boulevard. But again, it seems like Sutton is going to be where it's really impactful this morning.
All right, Majestic will keep us updated. Make sure you join us over on WCNC Plus. We are streaming live there starting at 7. See ya.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. This Thursday morning. I almost forgot. I'm like, what day is it? I'm Megan Bragg in for Ben Thompson.
And I am Lisa Washington. We need to get right over to Majestic Storm as we are traffic alert this morning.
We've been following this now for a couple of hours. This is I-485, where early this morning an Amazon truck caught on fire, caused some serious delays. At one point, 485 was completely blocked off right here near Pineville. But at this point, you can see all lanes, they're moving. They're just moving rather slowly. So keep that in mind as you're heading out the door this morning. Let's break down a few things. I'm going to show you my live traffic map here. This is where it is as part of I-485. Again, it is no longer blocked, but it's still moving very, very slowly. It's going to be on the inner loop between exits 67 and 65. So if you just want to avoid those big slowdowns, my best suggestion would be take South Boulevard northbound, or from I-485, you can take Highway 51 to get you right back up to I-77 there. Another thing that we've been watching this morning was I-77 southbound lanes in Rock Hill. It was blocked off for nearly an hour because of a serious wreck. This is our update right now at Dave Lyle Boulevard, where it is moving. All lanes are currently open there. Another perspective, this is I-77 at Sutton Road, so not too far away. So no longer seeing those big delays on I-77 out there in South Carolina. So clearing things out, no longer do we need that alternate route. Unfortunately, we're also following a fatal crash this morning. Wilkinson Boulevard is currently blocked off, inbound lanes right there at Donald Ross Road because that pedestrian that was struck by a car and unfortunately died because of that this morning. So lots going on traffic wise. There's a quick check at some of those drive times if you're heading out the door this morning. It's going to take you around 50 minutes to get into Charlotte if you're coming in from Salisbury, and just under 30 if you're coming in from Matthews. We are traffic alert this morning. We'll have another update coming up here in just a few minutes. But Chris, how's the weather shaping up today? Seems like it's going to be a nice one.
Yeah, it is. Majestic, go drink some water. What a crazy start traffic-wise. I'm happy to say that there's no weather alert days on the horizon, nothing really impactful as far as this is concerned. And it's really interesting about how different our temperatures are from place to place. That Morganton and Hickory, you're at 51 and 52 degrees. That's incredible. It's 38, meanwhile, over in Gastonia. It's 42 for you around the Charlotte area, and then either side of 40 for Chester and around York County. And it's just all over the place because of that cloud cover. But that means it's a 22-degree difference for you in Morganton. It's 9 degrees warm for you in Albemarle. Not too much of a difference, either the same to around a 3 or 4 degree bump close to the Charlotte area. Our morning commute, since we were just talking about it, no hazards as far as the weather goes, no rain, temperatures in the 40s, winds really very light, about 1 to 3 miles per hour. These winds will pick up slightly for your evening commute. No rain still to worry about. Temperatures in the mid 60s by the time you're hitting your evening commute. Our high temperatures today, well, they're reaching the upper 60s. I have a high of 68 degrees. Lower 70s down towards the south and southeast for Rockingham and Lancaster, and lower to the mid 50s for you up in the high country. That's sensational. That's what you want. Should be around 64, so this is still a little bit more typical for the first week of November, but hey, we're only into week number 2. And our Dallas cam, you can really see the difference as far as that cloud cover goes, but since you can see the glint, that illumination along the horizon, that eventually does mean this deck of clouds is going to clear out. Here's what it looks like on a satellite and radar. You see the thick band of clouds have been moving through, and they've been so thick right around the I-40 corridor. That's why it's so much warmer in the lower 50s. I always love a cloudy morning because it usually means a milder start. If you can clear those clouds out for the afternoon and allow for the sunshine, that allows you to maximize your warm up. And that's exactly what we're going to see today. So that's a picture perfect setup. And since we're starting off a little bit warmer, we'll have a better shot at getting close to 70 degrees today. Keeping the clouds around a little bit longer the higher you go up, also around Rowan County, and then we clear things out and watch. I'm rolling tape for your Friday. Whole lot of nothing. I'm talking about wall-to-wall sunshine for the entirety of your Friday, just like what we had yesterday and the day before, but then here comes the clouds. Clouds move back in for your Saturday. It's called a nice mix of cloud and sunshine. Could be a little bit cloudier at times as we work our way into your Saturday evening into Sunday morning, and then we're seeing a little bit better of a rain chance along the Tennessee border up in the high country and around Watauga and Ashe County. But we're rain free for the Charlotte area, and look at that, 77 degrees. That is awesome. Near 80 degrees. That's 5 degrees off from the record for that day. And the Jerry Hunt Superstar 7-day forecast does show a little bit of a dip down to 64 degrees come Monday. and then we see a slow climb back to around 70 degrees come the middle of next week. This is going to be a picture perfect 7 days, which I want to put this in perspective. 64 degrees is where we should be for our average high, and it's about every 2 to 3 days that drops 1 degree. Well, we're going to be above that mark even than what we have today each and every day. And the mid to the upper 70s, that is what you usually see for the very beginning of October overall. So that's why this is a picture perfect forecast. Get outside and enjoy it. As far as the rain chances go, we do have a slight chance for an isolated shower right here around Tuesday. These come back up for next Thursday and Friday, but nothing to worry about in the near term, and certainly nothing to worry about around the Charlotte area for this weekend. Enjoy it. This is going to be an epic stretch in November. Take advantage.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. We start with breaking news this morning. The longest government shutdown in American history is now over.
That's right. Overnight, the House passing a bill to fund the federal government through January, with President Trump signing it into law shortly after. Now, this deal includes full funding for SNAP. It reinstates thousands of federal workers who were laid off and provides back pay for those workers who were furloughed or working without pay for the last 6 weeks.
And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you very much.
The vote came after Speaker Mike Johnson brought the Republican-controlled chamber back into session for the first time since September 19th. Johnson spoke to press right after, sharing he's very relieved from recent events, but still placed the blame on Democrats, claiming they were responsible for the shutdown, even lasting this long.
The Democrats created it. The Democrats broke it. The Democrats are driving your cost up. Who are you going to trust to fix health care? It's the Republican Party. Because we have volumes of ideas on how to do this, on how to fix it, on how to drive costs down, and how to increase access to care and quality of care, and you're going to see all that vigorous debate.
On the other side of the aisle, North Carolina Representative Don Davis, one of the 6 House Democrats to back that funding bill, he defended his decision, saying so many Americans were hurting during the shutdown, but made it clear last night's vote doesn't mean the fight is over.
This battle's not over. That's why it was important to push the negotiations and the conversations. But as we're getting close to the holidays, there are many people right now who are suffering, and especially in our rural communities. And I just want them to know that I hear them loud and clear.
This morning, people are bracing for possible Border Patrol operations in Charlotte. Remember, yesterday we told you about several claims the city could soon be the focus of a new immigration operation. Now, this could follow the agent's exit from Chicago, which is expected to happen sometime this week. We spoke with members of the Latino community sharing their concerns.
Quite scary for a lot of them, and for me as well, to see what they might say, what they might do. A lot of fear in Latino community.
Organizations say it is important for folks in the Latino community to stay informed. Governor Josh Stein also weighing in, saying the situation could cause fear, but it could also be a positive.
We don't know what their plans are here for Charlotte. If they come in and they are targeted in what they do, we will thank them. If they come in and wreak havoc and cause chaos and fear, we will be very concerned.
The exact timing of the operation is still not known. And with Border Patrol expected to head to Charlotte, we have received several questions on social media about what the agents can and can't do.
Yeah, many are wondering what powers Border Patrol has if and when they come to the Queen City, and if the governor or mayor can stop them from coming. So let's verify. Our sources, Congress.gov and the Department of Homeland Security. According to Homeland Security, more than 3,000 people were arrested in Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago. Those operations began in September and targeted people without legal status in the Chicago area. With the operation potentially switching to Charlotte, many are wondering if the governor or the mayor could stop them from coming to the Queen City. According to Congress.gov, because U.S. Border Patrol is under Homeland Security, it operates under federal authority, not state or local authority. That means states and cities do not have legal power to decide whether Border Patrol can enter, patrol, or enforce federal immigration laws within the state. Immigration agents also have protections when it comes to conducting official duties. However, they can still be accountable if they break state or federal law. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Ahead here on WCNC Plus, a newly released Epstein document stirring fresh questions about President Trump's past connections. We're going to break down those documents and the White House's response next.
And snow has already fallen in North Carolina, and soon enough, more winter weather will be on the way. To stay prepared, make sure to tune in next Tuesday at 6:30 on WCNC Plus. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich will have his annual winter weather outlook. Tune in to WCNC Plus next Tuesday to find out what kind of winter is heading our way.
Right now, we just want to give you a live look at the traffic situation we've been talking about all morning. This is I-45. This is the inner loop here heading into Uptown. You see the exit there for 77 on the far right side of your screen. Now, earlier this morning, just before 4 o'clock, in fact, there was some sort of accident involving an Amazon truck, which had the lanes reduced to just one and then a couple of lanes. But as you can see now, the traffic is moving, albeit slowly. Again, the inner loop of 485 there, the cars are able to get by, but you can still see there is still some sort of activity on the far right side of your screen. But the good news now, the traffic is moving along. We'll check in with Majestic momentarily to get an update on the situation here as well as other parts of the area on this Thursday morning.
It's a story that's been haunting President Trump throughout his second term, his past ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And earlier this week, the House Oversight Committee released 20,000 documents from Epstein's estate after issuing a subpoena.
NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more on the response from the White House and Republicans who say the emails prove absolutely nothing.
The White House is pushing back after House Democrats released emails from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, putting new scrutiny on President Trump's relationship with the late convicted sex offender.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong.
In 2011, 4 years before Trump announced his run for the presidency, Epstein emailed his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted names spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. The White House says the redacted name is Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most prominent accusers. Dufresne, who died by suicide earlier this year, never accused Trump of wrongdoing, writing in her memoir Trump couldn't have been friendlier.
It is not a coincidence that the Democrats leaked these emails to the fake news this morning ahead of Republicans reopening the government. This is another distraction campaign.
In another newly released email after Epstein was indicted on sex trafficking charges, he wrote this about Trump in 2019. Of course he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. The president has said he broke with Epstein years before Epstein got into legal trouble and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago when Epstein started taking club employees to work for him, including Dufresne.
He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us.
And now Republicans also releasing 20,000 pages of documents. In one email, Epstein, after former Trump fixer Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to violating campaign finance laws, wrote, "I know how dirty Donald is." Trump has never been accused of any wrongdoing linked to Epstein. The administration now facing growing bipartisan pressure, with a new Democrat sworn in becoming the critical 218th signature to force a House vote to release all of the DOJ's Epstein files.
I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein files. Justice cannot wait another day.
That was NBC's Gabe Gutierrez reporting. Also happening in Washington, the Supreme Court is preparing to hear two major cases in January. On January 13th, the justices will weigh in on challenges to state bans blocking transgender students from joining sports teams that match their gender identity. On January 21st, the court will hear arguments on whether President Trump can fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, a move that could test the Fed's independence. Decisions are expected by the end of June. As we head to break, a reminder, WCNC Charlotte is teaming up with Nourish Up to help our neighbors in need. If you'd like to make a donation, it's easy to do so. All you have to do is text Stuff the Truck to that number on your screen. And thanks to Lowe's Home Improvement, your impact will go even further. Lowe's is matching every donation dollar for dollar up to $100,000.
Well, just take a look at your screen. This time-lapse video spanning over an hour shows the northern lights in Wilmington on Tuesday. It's all thanks to this beautiful, beautiful geomagnetic storm. The colorful display has been spotted across the U.S., including Florida, Texas, Alabama, and Georgia. Last night, viewers in the Dakotas, northern and central Minnesota, and Michigan were also treated to the show. Loved seeing these pictures. I've seen so many beautiful pictures, especially on social media.
And it's just so great that we're able to see them and we're being so far south, because typically that's not the case. This is quite rare.
Yeah, no, and we've seen it twice this year, which is incredible. But this is one of the best. And check out some of these pictures we've seen for the last couple of days. This is sent in by Amber from Ashe County. Beautiful pinks, and if you're lucky enough, some actually saw a little bit of the greens as well. And it's the pinks and the reds that are typically the top, and then it goes some of the greens and the purples and the blues that are down the bottom. You only really see those colors whenever you're a little bit close to the poles, say around Iceland, that has some of the most breathtaking displays from this. But this is sent in by Lindsay from Pendleton, North Carolina. And I want to keep the viewer pictures going. It's going to be a hard shift from what I'm about to show you. But this is very cool. So check this out. This is a viewer from Mint Hill. She had a picture of this red-shouldered hawk from their porch and said that it just sat there for about 15 minutes taking some of these awesome photos. So I've heard of the red-tailed, not but the red shoulders. So the red-shouldered hawk, very cool. Such regal creatures, right? Well, our morning looks to be great for all hawks and beings. We can expect temperatures to really be all over the place this morning. It's 39 degrees right now in Monroe. We do have a slight wind chill, feeling like 35. Calm conditions, 36 in Lancaster. 42, feeling like 42 right now around Charlotte. Really, winds need to be over 3 for us to have a significant wind chill. In Morganton, you're at 54 degrees right now. That is substantial. That's that cloud cover that is keeping you nice and warm. Yesterday, we were at 66 degrees. Today, we don't really have a big difference, 68 degrees, and then we're slowly warming up day by day. So highs today elsewhere, we have 70 right around Monroe, 71 for you over in Lancaster, 72, Chirac, 66 just where we were yesterday around Hickory, 68 in Morganton, and low to the mid-50s up in the mountains. Winds will be out of the northwest overall, but it's not really going to have a big cooling factor, upwards to about 7 to 12 miles per hour for the max. But I want to show you when it feels like. So what I did was I took our 10-day forecast and I put it with the temperature ranges that we have per month. So for instance, October ranges from the 1st to the 31st, 78 to 68. November from the 1st to the 30th ranges from 68 to 58. So if you just simply look at this, it's averaging more like October pretty much most of the days over the next 7. So today and your Tuesday at 68 degrees actually is the average for October 31st and November 1st, so right on the cusp, but most days in the 70s, that is more of an October forecast compared to November. Only one day it really separates itself, 64 where we should be this time of year. That's on Monday, but we're right back into the lower 70s, so a really nice trend on the way. As far as our lows are concerned, we'll be at 38 degrees by tomorrow, either side of 40 heading into the weekend. Nice little warm up though. Look at that with cloud cover. Humidity at 58 degrees on Sunday. So there it is. So our weather looking great, and Majestic's telling us the traffic did calm down a little bit because that was a crazy start, my friend.
We definitely had a lot going on this morning, and it's still not perfect, but it is bearable at this point for most spots. This is I-77 coming in from York County. Good morning to everyone. We do have slow moving conditions out towards exit 88, but we typically see that this time of the day. We've been following this for you all morning long. We've seen an Amazon truck catch on fire early this morning, and at one point this part of I-485 was completely blocked off. At this point, lanes are moving. They're just moving very slowly between exit 67 to get on I-77, so plan accordingly there. A little bit of a slowdown still lingering out towards Rock Hill, but nothing significant at this point. This is I-77 southbound Dave Lyle Boulevard. Again, this is what we're seeing a little closer to Mecklenburg County, so keep that one in mind. And then also finally want to let you know about this. This is a fatal crash this morning involving a pedestrian. Road is blocked right there. It's Wilkinson Boulevard. We'll have more information coming up here shortly.
All right, thanks, Majestic. Take a look at this. The Swarovski star is now sitting at the top of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree in New York. The 900-pound star was placed yesterday. It features 70 spikes and over 3 million crystals. The star was first introduced in 2004. The one used today was created in 2018.
Gorgeous, simply gorgeous. All right, well, we have told you about this viral Starbucks barista cup that has taken over the internet. Now, earlier this week, fans were quite frustrated when the cup sold out so quickly. If you missed out, oh, don't worry. People are now selling them online, reselling them. You might want to check your wallet, though, because some are going for hundreds of dollars. There's even one that is listed, get this, $49,000. $49,000. That's right, $49,000 for that cute little barista cup there. The latest trend, making your own coffee-filled cup using honey bears from the store. I mean, it's cute. I think the original cost was around $30.
You said, don't worry. Like anyone's going to get that for $49,000.
$49,000.
If somebody's actually paying that much, that's problematic.
And let me know.
I mean,
'cause
really.
I'll be your friend if you have $49,000.
Exactly,
Right? That's just pocket change.
Yeah,
then,
You thought it was $49.
And I was like, that's a lot.
I mean, even $30 is like,
Agreed.
But it is a cute cup.
It's cute. I've seen people like actually use their honey from home, rinse it out
with the cup,
and then make their own.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
I'm down with that.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We don't have Barista Cups, but we do have the day's top headlines streaming at 7:30.
Good morning, everybody. Check out our temperatures. We're 51 degrees in Hickory, 42 right around the Charlotte area. That's powered that cloud cover. That cloud cover will gently erode, but it is significantly warmer than where we were just 24 hours ago. About a 16-degree upgrade for you around the Hickory area. 68 degrees, that's our high today. 2 degrees warmer than yesterday. Should be absolutely amazing. You are going to see those clouds quickly erode, but still a mix of cloud and sunshine will be possible from time to time throughout the day. Our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Temperatures around 70 degrees by tomorrow. The mid to even the upper 70s this weekend. Next chance for rain is very weak on Tuesday, and a great looking 7 days. It has not been a great traffic morning so far. Let's see our new update with Majestic.
Good morning, everyone. We are following still a lot going on this morning. Take a look at your TV screen because I want to let you know 485 still is really jam-packed. Earlier this morning, an Amazon truck caught on fire. At one point, this part of I-485 was completely blocked off. We'll see those delays between exit 67 and I-77, but those roads are still moving. And then unfortunately, we are also reporting on a fatal crash involving a pedestrian this morning. Wilkinson Boulevard eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road is currently blocked.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Megan Bragg. And for Ben, we begin with breaking news overnight. The House voting to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. President Trump officially signed the bill shortly after. The deal includes full funding for SNAP, reinstates thousands of workers who were laid off, and provides back pay for those furloughed or working without pay over the course of the shutdown.
Just minutes after the vote, and the House legal expert Mitch Kakai joined us right here on our live Impact News streaming on WCNC Plus.
He discussed how both sides got there.
Basically, Republicans are saying it's time to open up the government again. Let's get things back going, pay people who've been furloughed, operate services again, make sure that the flights are going to be running as normal. Whereas the Democrats were saying, hey, Republicans, why aren't you allowing us to have the extension of these Obamacare or Affordable Care Act healthcare subsidies? That's something that Americans need, and you aren't dealing with it.
Again, we followed all of these developments live as they were happening throughout the night. You can download the WCNC app wherever you stream. Follow along on breaking news stories just like this one. Well, the ripple effects of this shutdown have impacted millions of families.
That's right. Well, Indigit will bring some relief. Experts say the restart won't happen overnight. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live in Charlotte this morning with details on what the recovery could look like. Destiny.
Yeah, federal employees are back on the job today after this record 43-day government shutdown. And while there may be relief that it's finally over, recovery is what's going to be that next step, and it's just beginning. Now, more than 6 weeks of uncertainty was during this shutdown. Federal buildings are reopening, phones are ringing again, and back pay is on the way. But experts say getting back to normal won't happen overnight. Thousands of claims, requests, and applications have piled up during the shutdown, from food assistance to housing help. Political scientist Michael Bitzer with Catawba College says it could take days or even weeks for agencies to catch up.
There will be some delay in terms of the immediacy. It will probably take maybe by the end of this week, the beginning of next week, to really start to re-engage the various policy processes and the procedures that they have to go through to get out certain kinds of benefits.
For families who rely on federal benefits, the wait for relief is still uncertain. And for federal workers who've been furloughed, paychecks could start hitting bank accounts by the end of the week. But officials warn that full operations and full relief could still take time. Live this morning in Charlotte, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that live report. Right now, I think we're going to get a check of our weather. We're starting with Chris. Yes, and again, going to be even warmer today than it was yesterday.
Moving on up to the warmer side. We have 66 degrees yesterday, 68 degrees for today. That is absolutely sensational. And we're going to continue that upward trajectory to around 70 degrees tomorrow, and then even the mid to, dare I even say, the upper 70s this coming weekend. That's sensational. Enjoy it. 68 degrees, that's going to be our high today, as around the Charlotte area along the I-85 corridor, as I was mentioning. 70 degrees right around Monroe, 72 for you over in Chirag, and then 53 over in Boone. Winds will be out of the northwest, anywhere from about 7 to 12 miles per hour. And when it feels like it's going to be substantial, this is crazy, that it feels more like October compared to November. So I adjusted this graphic to show each temperature range during the month. So for instance, January averages pretty much around 52 degrees and below to about 54. And then meanwhile, December average anywhere from about 58 degrees to 54. So that's why those bars are a lot smaller. But this really just plain and simple shows you it doesn't feel like the month that it actually is. It is far from November-like. As far as those low temperatures are concerned, we should be around 40 degrees, typical high about 64. We're for the most part going to be above that. The only day that does dip a little bit below that is about 38 degrees for this coming Friday. And then with the increase of cloud cover, check it out on Sunday, back to the upper 50s. And our rain chances are very minimal going forward. I don't think you see anything in the near term. The next chance for rain is really going to be up in the high country. And then on Tuesday, you have a slight chance, 20% chance there. And then on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going to keep those 20% chances around as well. So that's where you're going as far as precipitation wise goes. I want to show you the next chance for rain in the Carolinas, though. That's mainly going to be up in the high country, and that's where you're going to see a system start to develop nearby that's mainly going to keep rain to the north and northwest. So let's roll through our future cast, what that looks like. For one, you can see that cloud cover that's hovering across the area. That cloud cover is going to be thick from time to time, but I think it's really going to be over the next few hours that we're really going to start to erode some of that. So here's what that looks like. This is 8 a.m. This is 11 a.m. At that point, you see some clouds right around Rowan County up into the mountains, but still going to see an ample amount of sunshine. So if you were to say where it's going to be the cloudiest this morning, I think it's going to be around the Morganton area to Banner Elk. That's why it's been so mild around Burke County over to Caldwell and Catawba County. And then that cloud cover, I think, is still going to hover around here and there along the I-40 corridor into the afternoon, but it should be fairly sunny around Charlotte, even wall-to-wall blue skies, and then clearing out through the overnight. And then check it out. I'm going to step out of the way. That clock is moving, but nothing is moving through the area for your Friday. Friday, another picture-perfect day, a cloudless day. And then by your Saturday, we start to see more clouds arrive right around noon. This turns out to be a partly cloudy to a partly sunny one. And then I think a lot more clouds jog into your Sunday, especially for the afternoon. But check it out. Here's the only rain chance that we have across the Carolinas for the weekend. You will see some active showers, especially along the Tennessee border and areas to the northwest. That starts to trigger off heading into your Sunday morning and then into Sunday late morning as well. And then I think it will start to dissipate heading into the afternoon, but nothing to worry about around the Charlotte area. So that extended forecast, our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast, has an upward climb now through the weekend. We will have a front that's going to kick us back down into the 60s, which, by the way, if you look to the top, 64 is where we should be. So it's just really return to the normal, and then you eventually see a nice little comeback to around 70 degrees. So I already showed you the 10-day forecast, feeling more like October compared to this time of November, so take advantage of it. This is a special treat for this time of year overall. And again, sunshine across the board, only one rain chance around the Charlotte area. Seeing about 20 chance on your Tuesday. Take care. Let's see how the morning commute is looking. It has been very active so far.
Good morning, everyone. We want to give you an update. Our photographer is here now on scene. This is going to be a serious pedestrian accident that has turned fatal. Inbound lanes right now are blocked. This is on Wilkinson Boulevard, eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. You can see several emergency responders are there on scene, and you cannot drive on Wilkinson Boulevard right now because of this fatal crash. We'll continue to give you updates until that is completely cleared. Let's switch it over to my map, putting things into perspective. So again, this is just going to be west of Uptown. That purple is indicating where the road is currently blocked because of that fatal crash between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. So again, right between this area, you cannot drive on Wilkinson Boulevard. In addition to that, we've been following this for you all morning long. 485 this morning, an Amazon truck caught on fire. If you're just waking up and joining us, it has really put in some delays. At one point, this part of I-485 was completely blocked. Right now, it's not. It's just really delayed and backed up right between exit 67 and I-77. All lanes currently moving, just moving rather slowly. That's right towards Pineville. Once we head over towards Matthews, 485, the inner loop, also we're seeing those slow-moving conditions, but no crashes there. Just a lot of people waking up all heading in the same direction. Let's take a look at Independence. You can see inbound lanes also delayed, but that's nothing we're not used to. And I-77 inbound from Cornelius and Huntersville. We're seeing just some slow-moving traffic, but just because of its morning commute, not because of any accidents. This is out there in Gaston County. Good morning to everyone. We do have our typical delays here on I-85. Inbound mainly 485 out towards Berry Hill. It's a similar setup there. Finally, there's I-77, South Carolina, and York County. Good morning to you. Not seeing any significant congestion at this point. Guys.
All right, thanks, Majestic. Hey, we've already seen snow in the Queen City, which is really, really wild for me, actually, because it's just November. But if you really want to know what the winter weather forecast is going to look like for you, we have that live with Brad Panovich. That's going to happen on our streaming platform right here on WCNC Plus at 6:30. Meteorologist Brad Panovich will take a look and tell you what you can expect. That's, of course, next Tuesday.
And as we head to break, a reminder that WCNC Charlotte teaming up with Nourish Up to help our neighbors in need. If you'd like to send a donation, all you have to do is text Stuff the Truck to that number on your screen, 50155. And thanks to Lowe's Home Improvement, your impact will go even further. Lowe's is generously matching every donation, dollar for dollar, up to $100,000. The time is now 7:42, and we're learning more about last week's deadly UPS cargo plane crash in Kentucky. Yesterday, the Jefferson County coroner identified all 14 victims, the youngest just 3 years old.
Alexis Matthews shares how families are starting to find closure amid ongoing search efforts.
Just over a week after a UPS cargo plane crashed in Louisville, on Wednesday, the Jefferson County coroner released the names of all 14 victims, their ages ranging from 3 years old to 65.
I think there's almost a sense of relief that now we feel like we have all of them.
Coroner Joanne Farmer and her team heartbroken at this tragedy. They had the unthinkable task of giving families closure, notifying them that they have positively identified their loved ones.
That's where I think our emotions start to rise at that point, because the search is not completely over, but primarily over. And I had a family member ask me yesterday, how do you ever get used to this? And I said, I don't.
Farmer says the identification process concluded just 24 hours prior. All 14 victims were identified through DNA, some by also using dental records and others the use of medical records. And while crews are still going through the debris, leaders do not believe there are any more people to recover. And they're remembering the lives lost too soon by honoring how they lived.
I've heard it said that everyone dies twice. Once when you take your last breath, and again when your name is spoken for the last time. So as we hear these names today, let's never forget their lives, their laughter, their love, and all that they meant to those around them and to our entire city.
Well, flu season is underway, and global health experts are warning of a new strain that popped up back in June. And right now it's causing outbreaks in Canada and the UK, where it's sending some people to the hospital. The CDC hasn't provided a national report of flu activity since September due to the government shutdown. UK health authorities say this year's flu shot can prevent up to 40% of adult hospitalizations.
Up next here on WCNC Plus, an update on your forecast for this Thursday, and Majestic has a check of the morning commute, including that deadly crash involving a pedestrian. Stay with us.
An incredible dual display of an enormous volcano next to 1,000-foot tall eruption, all caught on camera in Hawaii. If you're wondering exactly what a volcano is, so am I. Jeremy Roth breaks it all down.
Amazing video of two spectacular phenomena occurring side by side showcases the show-stopping power of nature. The video shows Hawaii's Mount Kilauea volcano spewing a massive fountain of lava, a reported 1,000 feet into the air, while right behind it, a tornado-like funnel of dust and ash is seen swirling into the sky. Called a volnado, the twister-like occurrence is caused by the contrast between the heated air near the lava and the cooler ambient air. The dramatic dual displays prove Mother Nature isn't just a mad scientist, but also a pretty fantastic entertainer. She also has a decent sense of humor. Just take a look at this big, goofy sea lion that made its way onto a rainy road in Washington state and then refused to budge, standing its ground in front of a police vehicle. Cosmopolis PD shared images of the blubbery big guy on social media, saying the surreal sight was definitely not on their bingo card for 2025. UPI reports the Department of Fish and Wildlife was informed, and rescuers were able to eventually coax the stubborn mammal back into a nearby river. But hey, Cosmopolis PD played their part too. They later updated their Facebook profile photo using Photoshop. So, job well done, everybody. Finally, take a look at an adorable reunion between a baby otter and its mother that unfolded on the California coastline. After the otter pup was found stranded on a Morro Bay beach, rescuers used recordings of its cries played on a Bluetooth speaker to locate its mother in the bay. Once the adult otter started following the boat, in went the pup, which was scooped up and floated home on its mother's stomach. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Huge otter fan, by the way. But I have no graphics on otters, so let's go back to, I don't think I've ever seen a harder shift from volnadoes.
How did we go from a volnado to a cute otter?
Yeah, and there was a sea line in between that eventually got photoshopped with the police officer outfit. If you were wondering and you're not awake yet, nope, that just happened. But I'm going to bring us back to volnado, which are also known as fire-nados, fire tornadoes. And here's exactly what happens. So this can also happen around a volcano, because a volcano literally made of molten rock, and that magma and that fire can eventually have the same effect. So what happens is, as winds start to move over the fire, it creates a little bit of a turbulence and causes what's called a vortice. That just means one of these guys. So it's a quick little spin of air, which truly a tornado is made up of multiple vortices, and eventually it becomes one just spinning column of air. And that's exactly what happens here. So as that fire starts to move over, the fire creates a heated thermal column, and then that uplifts it, and then you start to see some circulation that's around it as well. So as everything starts to rotate, that can eventually take that fire, pull it into a little updraft, and then that's why you have a rotating column of air that's dragging the fire within it. Now here's the scary thing. Sometimes it can reach winds of up to over 100 miles per hour under the right circumstances, where a lot of these severe weather events, tornadoes, the biggest thing they need is warm rising air. Well, fire is hot rising air in a rapid fashion, so you can have these things called fire-nados, or in that case, volnadoes. Again, I don't have anything on the sea otters, even though that is one of my favorite animals, but I will shift over to our local fire danger, since it is all fire. Luckily, we're not looking at anything super high. It was much higher about a week ago or so. We need the rain desperately, but we also don't have the aggressive winds. Winds are starting to calm down through the day, so it's just a low level up in the high country and a moderate level across the Charlotte area. Our day and nighttime rain chances over the next 7 days, nothing. A whole lot of nothing for the Charlotte area. It's really not until about Tuesday and Tuesday night that you even have a chance for an isolated rain shower. And the reason why we're going to see that is a nearby front. And truly looking at some of the long-range models, that doesn't even look to be a definite. That's why it's really around that isolated, widely scattered range, nothing really too huge. Now, this is for the Charlotte area. Truly, I would add more of a Saturday night into Sunday time frame for the mountains to see our true next rain chance. But looking over the next 7 days, there is not a lot that is really speculated to move into the area. So even factoring in that Tuesday, that's not going to help out our drought status, which officially, by the way, over the next hour here in WCNC Plus, I'm going to have a brand new update from the drought monitor. Has not come out yet, but it will be dropping here within minutes. U.S. Drought Monitor is definitely going the wrong direction for the Charlotte area with all this drier air. But there's a big pulse of rain expected around Oklahoma and Texas, but nothing that's really going to help us out in the short term. Coming up over the next 30 minutes, I'll have your full look, your 7-day forecast, helping you plan where things are going, because we have a nice warm stretch on the way. That's your weather report, amongst many other things. Now let's get right over to Majestic with traffic.
Good morning, everyone. Want to show you a live camera right now here on WCNC Plus. Our photographer is here on scene because of a serious accident involving the death of a pedestrian. This is on Wilkinson Boulevard, eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. That's where you do have multiple emergency responders there on scene as they are investigating this area. Again, you cannot drive on Wilkinson Boulevard right there. So let's switch it over to my map so I can show you what I'm talking about. Want to look for purple. Purple means you cannot drive through the area because it is completely blocked off. Again, Wilkinson Boulevard eastbound lanes between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. That needs to be top of mind for you this morning. Otherwise, still watching 485. Slowdowns are ongoing. Roads are not blocked though, but you will have some delays between exit 67 and I-77 because of an earlier truck fire. That's what I'm watching for now. We'll have another update for you coming up here shortly.
All right, Majestic, thanks so much. Live pictures of Uptown on this Thursday. We're going to be right back with the day's top headlines, streaming at the top of the hour on WCNC Plus.
Well, good morning, everybody. Check it out. We have some thicker clouds off in the horizon. Temperatures now starting to warm on up, though. Quickly already up to 49 degrees right around Charlotte, 55 around the Hickory area, 37 still, though, around Lancaster. And we'll be clearing out those clouds before you know it's a lot sunnier down towards the south, and it will end up being a mostly sunny afternoon, partly cloudy at times. 68 degrees is going to be your high today, so that's a little bit warmer than what we had yesterday. High around 66 degrees, but going forward, our lows aren't going to be too cold. Overall, we have the upper 30s to the lower 40s, a couple of spikes, though, back into the 50s, and rain chances null and void until Tuesday. We have a weak chance for rain, and our temperatures really much warmer starting out this morning, expecting a beautiful forecast, temperatures back to the 70s by this weekend. Let's get right over to Majestic for your morning commute.
Want to let you know about a serious accident this morning. Our photographer is here on scene. It's a serious pedestrian accident that did lead to a fatality this morning. Inbound lanes are blocked on Wilkinson Boulevard between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. Let's switch over to my graphic showing you exactly where that is for you this morning. That's going to be just west of Uptown, where you cannot drive on Wilkinson Boulevard because of this fatal crash. We'll have more details coming up on WCNC Plus.
Thanks so much for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8. I'm Megan Bragg in for Ben.
And I'm Lisa Washington. We start with that breaking news update this morning. The longest government shutdown in American history is now over. Overnight, the House passed a bill to fund the federal government through January. President Trump signed it into law shortly after. Now, this deal includes full funding for SNAP. It reinstates thousands of federal workers who were laid off and provides back pay for workers who were furloughed or working without pay for the last 6 weeks.
And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you very much.
The vote came after Speaker Mike Johnson brought the Republican-controlled chamber back into session for the first time since September 19th. Johnson spoke to press right after sharing he's very relieved from recent events, but still placed the blame on Democrats, claiming they were responsible for the shutdown even lasting this long.
The Democrats created it. The Democrats broke it. The Democrats are driving your cost up. Who are you going to trust to fix health care? It's the Republican Party, because we have volumes of ideas on how to do this, on how to fix it, on how to drive costs down and how to increase access to care and quality of care. And you're going to see all that vigorous debate.
On the other side of the aisle, North Carolina Representative Don Davis, one of the 6 House Democrats to back that funding bill. He defended his decision, saying so many Americans were hurting during the shutdown, but he made it clear last night's vote doesn't mean the fight is over.
This battle's not over. That's why it was important to push the negotiations and the conversations. But as we're getting close to the holidays, there are many people right now who are suffering, and especially in our rural communities. And I just want them to know that I hear them loud and clear.
This morning, people in our area bracing for possible Border Patrol operations in Charlotte. You may remember yesterday we told you several reports claimed the city could soon be the focus of a new immigration operation. Now, this would follow the agent's exit from Chicago, which is expected to happen sometime this week. We spoke with members of the Latino community sharing their concerns.
Quite scary for a lot of them, and for me as well, to see like what they might say, like what they might do. A lot of fear in Latino community.
Leaders of organizations that support the Latino community in our area say it is important for folks to stay informed. Governor Josh Stein also weighing in, saying this situation could cause fear, but it could also be positive.
We don't know what their plans are here for Charlotte. If they come in and they are targeted in what they do, we will thank them. If they come in and wreak havoc and cause chaos and fear, we will be very concerned.
The exact timing of the operation is still not known. With Border Patrol expected to head to Charlotte, we've received several questions on social media about what the agents can and can't do.
Yeah, many are wondering what powers Border Patrol has if and when they come to the Queen City, and if the governor or mayor can stop them from coming. So let's verify.
Our sources, Congress.gov and the Department of Homeland Security. According to Homeland Security, more than 3,000 people were arrested in Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago. Those operations began in September and targeted people without legal status in the Chicago area. With the operation potentially switching to Charlotte, many are wondering if the governor or the mayor could stop them from coming to the Queen City. According to Congress.gov, because U.S. Border Patrol is under Homeland Security, it operates under federal authority, not state or local authority. That means states and cities do not have legal power to decide whether Border Patrol can enter, patrol, or enforce federal immigration laws within the state. Immigration agents also have protections when it comes to conducting official duties. However, they can still be accountable if they break state or federal law. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Well, good morning, everybody. I was just double checking the Sugar Mountain times, and officially at 9 o'clock, the mountain is open. And that means you're good to go. So there's going to be 9 to 4:30 that you can get a lift ticket. Now, if you weren't planning on going already, you better get going because it's about to open up. But there's also half-day tickets, which letting you know everything was officially opened up on November 11th. So Sugar Mountain is now in full active gear. And the problem is They're going to have to work really hard to keep some of this snow because we are about to really crank up some of those temperatures. It was perfect not too long ago, but now we're definitely heading towards more of the warmer side of things. That physically here around the Blowing Rock area that this is specifically for, temperatures getting into the lower 60s by Saturday. And there's a chance for some precipitation on Sunday, but it's mainly going to be coming as some rain. So there's a chance for some rain, which is never good because that will make ice once it refreezes over, and then it'll eventually cool back down. We are going to see our lows get back down to that freezing point, so much better chance for making more snow come Monday. But we're seeing these constant spikes going forward for the high country, and also what's happening around it closer to home. So over the next 36 hours, it's not a lot to report. We've got a big old high pressure system that's going to sink in over the next day or so. That's going to clear out the slate. That's going to allow things to be perfectly sunny. Seeing a front that's diving down towards the south, not really changing things too much. Eventually, we're going to be cranking the winds out of this direction. That's out of the southwest, and that's going to allow for an epic warm-up back to the mid-70s. Well, check this out. This is the when it feels like chart that I made this morning, showing that during the month of October, you feel anywhere from 68 to 78 degrees. And during the month of November, it averages from about 58 to 68. If you look closely, there's a lot in that orange bar, meaning that most of the days over the next 10 are feeling like anywhere from early October to late October. So we don't even know what month it is. Yes, it is November. We will feel like that again on Monday, but it really just puts in perspective that we are so far well above average that at times it actually feels a month earlier than it actually is. Now, Renfest really is a true testament of the time that the season is really flying by really fast. It's going to be a royally great weekend. Temperatures that I just showed you, 76 degrees, 77 on Sunday. But this is going to be one of the last weekends. I believe there's 2 to 3. It's the last weekend before Thanksgiving that you're going to have Renfest. This coming weekend is the Time Travelers Weekend. The DeLorean's going to be there. How do I know that? Well, I am obsessed with Back to the Future. That's the main reason why, and I saw it on social media. Our near record heat, well, pretty close. 82 degrees is the record high for Saturday. Same thing for Sunday. We're within about 5 to 6 degrees of that. So it's kind of one of those close enough type of deals. So close to the record than where we actually should be for this time of the season. Our 7-day forecast, brought to you by the Jerry Hunt Super Center, shows that warm up will be short-lived, but we don't really cool down to the opposite side. We're not seeing an epic cool down feeling like January. Instead, we're just back to 64 where we should be, and then we hover around 70 degrees for the better part of the latter part of the forecast from day 6 to 10. So an amazing forecast overall. Enjoy these warmer temperatures while we have them. And that's your weather. Now up next we have traffic. What's the news update, Majestic?
Good morning, everyone. Let's give you a few updates as we are watching several things right now. There's my map. Want to give you an update on this. We are still seeing a road that's blocked because of a serious accident. This is going to be on Wilkinson Boulevard. A fatal crash this morning involving a pedestrian. Investigators are still out there, so they're asking to not come over there because the road is blocked. Again, it's going to be on Wilkinson Boulevard eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. So some unfortunate news there. Once we head to the south, though, we've also been following 485, which has been a mess all morning long. Earlier this morning, we had an Amazon truck that caught on fire. 485 was completely blocked off, and then it is now still moving. It's open at this point. It's just really delayed, and a lot of people are just heading out the door because this is prime time morning commute. So keep this in mind. Exit 67 to I-77, there will be some delays there. A new crash right now. It's on I-77 northbound at exit 3 Arrowwood Road, where we also do have those delays in place. Once we head over to the east just a bit, once we're looking at Matthews 485 Indian Trail, good morning to everyone. We're just seeing our typical slow-moving conditions, but if you're taking Independence, Eastway Drive southbound, the entry ramp from East Independence, there is a crash right there, and you can see all of that red, mainly inbound on Independence, not looking great. So lots to keep in mind as you're heading out the door this morning. We'll have another check on those area roadways coming up for you in just a few.
Thanks so much, Majestic. Hey, remember that storm we got? Yeah, are you wondering what the weather will be like this winter? Well, don't worry. Brad has his winter weather forecast, what he's predicting. That's coming up next Tuesday at 6:30 on WCNC Plus. Of course, you can watch it right here on WCNC Plus. So like I said, next Tuesday, 6:30, you won't want to miss that.
And as we head to break, here is an exclusive shopping deal for our viewers.
Hey, our team is always testing products. We only bring you the best, and this one is about your security, so you're going to want to listen up. The product is this. It's called Sight Bulb, and it's called that for good reason. It plugs into any light fixture. See that right there? Like a light bulb, and you have an instant security camera. There's a break-in in the US every 26 seconds. Lights are great, but a security camera catches the bad guys in the act. Look at this video. You just plug it in outside to any fixture. You have an instant security camera with night vision, 360-degree views, motion sensing. It even has a built-in microphone, so you can listen to what's going on in your house when you're not there, and also talk if the bad guys are in there, or if you just want to kind of watch your dog just hanging out, right? So I have one plugged in right over here as well, just to show you how this works. There's an SD card right in it, so it's all made in the USA, no things going up to the cloud. It's all stored right here. And come on in for a second, Bob. I want to show you, it connects to your app, so you can actually watch it anywhere. My cameraman Bob is here. Can you? That's what you see right on the app. Say hi, Bob. There you go, there's your hand. So this retails for $49.99 to $59.99, but we have a great deal for you today, 25% off. Think about the cost of home security. And by the way, no professional needed, no wiring. You screw this in and you're done. All you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen right now or go to shoptvdeals.com.
Well, right now, the Mega Millions jackpot is inching closer to $1 billion after no one matched all 6 numbers in Tuesday's drawing. The jackpot now stands at $965 million, and the estimated cash out is $445 million. The next drawing will be tomorrow. In case you were wondering, the odds of winning the jackpot are 1 in 290.5 million.
That's all.
That's just it. That's it. It's the end of an era after the last penny was minted yesterday in Philadelphia.
NBC's Liz Courts has more on the farewell and how banks and businesses are planning to adapt.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
After more than 230 years in circulation, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia pressing the last ever American penny.
We're saying goodbye to the penny today.
U.S. Treasurer Brandon Beach on hand for the historic moment as production of the 1-cent coins officially comes to an end. The final 2 pennies going up for auction.
It's still legal tender, and we have over 300 billion of them in circulation.
Earlier this year, President Trump calling the coin wasteful as the cost to produce just 1 penny is now almost 4 times its face value.
The penny is gone.
For years, it's been a hotly debated issue. Nightly News did this report way back in 1990 about the first congressional bill attempting to eliminate the ill-fated coin.
When we put a few pennies on the sidewalk, no one bothered to pick them up.
But despite its growing irrelevance, the abrupt death of the penny has left some banks and businesses scrambling.
Let's say that you go to a store and the cost is $5.53. You're paying in cash.
Yep.
What do you tell the customer?
So right now, the vast majority of our members are going to round that up to the nearest nickels.
Retail trade groups now urging Congress to establish a national standard for rounding cash transactions. Many just saying goodbye.
We're going to have a moment of mourning.
Sharing their thoughts for a penny. Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
Goodbye to the penny.
Goodbye.
All right, as we head to break, WCNC Charlotte is teaming up. Actually, going to check in with Chris before we get to that.
Yeah, a penny for your thoughts. Amber sent this in. This was the Northern Lights that we were seeing yesterday. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about our chances, if any, coming up in the near future. Some photos that we saw recently and some of your other viewer photos after the break.
And now a reminder that WCNC Charlotte teaming up with Nourish Up to help our neighbors in need. If you would like to donate, it's very easy. All you have to do is text Stuff the Truck to that number on your screen, 50155. Thanks to Lowe's Home Improvement, your impact will go even further. Lowe's is going to match every donation dollar for dollar up to $100,000.
right, take a look at your screen. The time-lapse video spanning over an hour shows the Northern Lights in Wilmington on Tuesday. And it was just so beautiful. The colorful display has been spotted across the U.S., including Florida, Texas, Alabama, and Georgia. Last night, viewers in the Dakotas, northern and central Minnesota, and Michigan were also treated to that beautiful show, Chris.
No, it was spectacular. And check this out. This is Ashe County here locally. And what you're actually looking at for some of these pinks is there's multiple colors that come from this. And the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis, it's the Aurora Australis in the southern hemisphere close to Australia, you're seeing multiple colors. What's actually happening in what's called the ionosphere. So literally you have ions, these molecules that are interacting with everything. And that allows for more of this pinkish and reddish hue, which, by the way, quick little lesson here, that the pink hues that you're seeing is actually about 150 miles above the Earth. Once you start to see a little bit more of the greens, I was trying to make this graphic for you, That green color is actually closer to about 120 to 150. Once you see more of the blues and the purples that start to appear, that's about 90 to 120 miles up in the atmosphere. So just really putting that in perspective about how high up truly all that is. So that's why you usually see the pinks the first, because that's where they're the highest up. But then around 120 to 150, sometimes you can see the glint and the glow, a little bit of that green that was seen there at the bottom. It is exceptionally rare, by the way, for us here in the Carolinas to see these in general. But seeing some of the greens, as we've now seen back-to-back days, outstanding. We'll, of course, keep you in the know once another chance comes up like this, but letting you know that is not happening anytime soon, or at least this coming week. It's very sporadic. There's some forecast, but then all of a sudden it can kind of creep up on you. All of a sudden, oh, by the way, it's surging today, but there's no immediate forecast in the near future. Also, since we're on the viewer photo train, I want to shout this out. No name attached to this, but this is a viewer in Min Hill. This is a red-shouldered hawk that literally just landed on their porch and just struck a pose for 15 minutes. I would take a picture as well. So this is some of the best amateur photography that I have personally seen of a hawk here locally. And if you're a professional, I did not mean to insult. Our current temperatures, we are looking at 46 degrees right around Morganton, 55 in Hickory. We have some thick clouds above. So you might be looking above your head and you're like, oh no, it's kind of gonna be a cloudy day. No, no, no. Contraire, mon frere. We instead are going to look like these clouds are going to clear throughout the rest of this morning. It gets much better. We have a slight wind chill around Monroe, 42, feeling like 38 degrees. So if you have any cloudy skies right now, those will slowly start to erode. Yesterday we were at 66. Today we're right around 68 degrees, so a nice little upgrade. High temperatures elsewhere across the area, more of the lower 70s down towards the south, and then we have the mid to the upper 60s the further north that you go. And then when it feels like, I already showed you this graph again, didn't mean to repeat it on you. I usually don't try to repeat things for the half hour, but I'm proud of this one. I mean, this morning, because I'm constantly comparing when it feels like, but this just really plain and simple shows you that we're mainly in the 70s, aka mainly feeling like October compared to where we should be here in November. So enjoy that. Meanwhile, our lows hovering either side of 40 degrees over the next couple of mornings. Our rain chances, don't have to worry about it until about Tuesday. I truly don't think it's until about next Thursday and Friday that we have our legitimate chance for rain. Some data starting to come in from the U.S. Drought Monitor. I'll have that update during the next half hour, but we're going to have an update now with Majestic for a developing traffic situation.
Good morning, everyone. Let's get to it. We're going to show you a few different spots that I'm watching. Let's start with this. This is I-77, York County. Not seeing any significant delays. Traffic seems to be flowing all right there, so keeping it that way, hopefully. Still following this, though. This is our serious accident this morning that did lead to a fatality involving a pedestrian. Road still blocked right here. It's going to be on Wilkinson Boulevard, eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road there. Now, as we're heading to the south, 485 has been a mess all morning long, and it's not a whole lot better. We still have a whole lot of delays between exit 67 and I-77. There are no roads that are blocked right now. All lanes are open. We just have slow-moving conditions because of that earlier Amazon truck that caught on fire. Now, on I-77, we do have a newer accident. Northbound lane's going to be impacted by that at exit 3. That's Arrowwood Road. Want to show you what's going on around Matthews 45. Looking all right, but if you're heading inbound on Independence, keep this one in mind. It's on the entry ramp from Independence northbound over towards Eastway Drive. So we do have that stop and go traffic. Those are a few things that I'm watching for you right now. We'll have another check on those roads coming up when I see you back here in just a few, guys.
All right, Majestic, thanks for that. Well, while many folks love being home for the holidays, of course, some don't always love staying with their families.
A new survey from Hilton shows many folks look for a way out when the holidays togetherness takes a toll. More than half of the Americans say they make up excuses to leave their family visits early. It comes as nearly 40% say they usually hit their family limit within just 24 hours. Some other frustrations folks voice when visiting relatives: matching outfits, imposed bedtimes, and sleeping somewhere other than a bed. Okay, Lisa, what do you think?
I mean, it's tough when you're in somebody else's space, right? But it's family.
I know.
I say 3 days. Like if you're visiting, if we're visiting, if somebody's coming to visit us, after 3 days, that's kind of enough.
1.5.
I like hanging out with family.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been in a situation where we're all together for an extended amount of time, though, like multiple days. Like all Christmas, we're all hanging out together for like the whole day, and then people go home.
Yep.
And you said the Braggs like to hang out forever. So we ask you, how long can you stand with your family for the holidays? Here's some of the responses that we got. Let's see here. Oh, no limit, 67%.
See, they're at
a couple hours, 11%, and the weekend, 22%.
All right, so my 1.5 verifies for the weekend.
Yeah. I think a good weekend is good.
Yeah,
I like that too.
Weekend is fine. You know, I do like routine though, right? So I want to get back at it and, you know, not eat so much food.
And I think even the folks who are saying no limit, like,
well, it depends. I feel like the no limit ones are the ones that maybe have the close family. Because, like, if you're talking about all of a sudden you have, like, the second cousins and the third twice removed coming, and then it's chaos, then you're going to be cutting down that limit. I'm just saying.
And if you only see them like once a year, it's like, okay, we can extend this out a little bit.
Right.
You know, but if they're your neighbors, it's like, wrap it up, you know.
sometimes once a year is enough.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding. I love all my family.
Yeah, we're kidding.
They're the best. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We're going to have the day's top headlines coming up at the top, or actually 8:30.
All right, who's ready for a fantastic day? Temperature's currently at 49 degrees around Charlotte. Hickory, you've been in one of the warmer spots. Now, there's two different scenarios right now. You're either dealing with a thicker cloud cover overhead or you're seeing an ample amount of sunshine. If you're dealing with the clouds, those will eventually erode, and then we'll have a delightful sunny to mostly sunny day for most of the afternoon. High temperatures reaching the upper 80s, so about a 2-degree upgrade compared to what we had yesterday. Our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast shows a nice little upward trajectory. We have the mid to even the upper 70s. That's right. On Saturday and Sunday, it doesn't get much better than this for a November weekend. I'm just saying, especially for the mid part, a little bit of a cool down back to the 60s, close to 70 in the middle of next week, but that is fantastic. One rain chance Tuesday, but only 20%. Let's get around Majestic. What's going on?
It's a busy Thursday morning, that's for sure. This is I-77 at Tyvola. If you're heading out the door this morning, just slow moving conditions, both really inbound and outbound lanes on I-77. We do have multiple wrecks this morning. This one is the most serious. It's an earlier crash that did lead to a fatality that did involve a pedestrian. Wilkinson Boulevard is blocked right now eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. They're asking to avoid that area. We're going to be going over everything for you this morning on WCNC Plus.
Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8:30 on this Thursday. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Megan Bragg in for Ben. We begin with breaking news overnight. The House voting to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
The yeas are 222, the nays are 209. The bill is passed.
President Trump officially signing the bill shortly after. The deal includes full funding for SNAP, reinstates thousands of workers who were laid off, and provides back pay for those furloughed or working without pay over the course of the shutdown.
Now, just minutes after the vote in the House, legal expert Mitch Kakai joined us right here on WCNC Plus in our live Impact News stream.
He discussed how both sides got here.
Basically, Republicans are saying it's time to open up the government again. Let's get things back going, pay people who've been furloughed, operate services again, make sure that the flights are going to be running as normal. Whereas the Democrats were saying, hey, Republicans, why aren't you allowing us to have the extension of these Obamacare or Affordable Care Act healthcare subsidies? That's something that Americans need, and you aren't dealing with it.
Again, we followed all these developments live as they were happening throughout the night. You're watching WCNC Plus right now, so of course we will continue to break these stories over this app. The ripple effect of this shutdown has impacted millions of families.
Now, while ending it will bring some relief, experts say the restart won't happen overnight. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live in Charlotte this morning with details on what the recovery could look like. Destiny.
Yeah, federal employees are officially back on the job after this record 43-day government shutdown. And while there's relief that it's finally over, the road to recovery is just beginning. Now, after more than 6 weeks of uncertainty, federal buildings are reopening, phones are ringing again, and back pay is on the way. But experts say getting back to normal won't happen overnight. Thousands of claims, requests, and applications have piled up during the shutdown, from food assistance to housing help. Political scientist Michael Bitzer with Catawba College says it could take days or even weeks for agencies to catch up.
There will be some delay in terms of the immediacy. It will probably take maybe by the end of this week, the beginning of next week, to really start to re-engage the various policy processes and the procedures that they have to go through to get out certain kinds of benefits.
For families who rely on federal benefits, the wait for relief is still uncertain. And for federal workers who've been furloughed, paychecks could start hitting bank accounts by the end of the week. But officials warn that full operations, those full relief, that is all going to be still taking some time to happen after this 43-day shutdown. Live this morning in Charlotte, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
We know those workers will welcome those paychecks. This morning, the impacts of the shutdown continue to impact airports. Right now at Charlotte Douglas, there are 49 cancellations and 15 delays. It is important to note that the cancellations this morning are to those small regional airports here in the Southeast, places like Greenville, Columbia, and Knoxville. Longer flights, as of right now, appear to be safe and on time. Well, new this morning, CMPD issuing a statement in response to those reports claiming that Charlotte could soon be the focus of a new immigration operation. The department clarifying it has no authority to enforce federal immigration laws, adding, quote, CMPD does not participate in ICE operations, nor are we involved in the planning of these federal activities. Right now, the timeline of any operations remains unclear.
All right, thanks a lot, Lisa. Well, I told you I was going to update you on the U.S. drought monitor. I'm happy to say there actually isn't a tremendous amount of change. So what usually happens is the data goes through Tuesday and then the map is released on Thursday. But looking back to the previous week, we actually had rain on Tuesday to Wednesday that wasn't factored in, but then it's been dry since then. So it's almost been, in the poker field, a push. So meaning that things haven't really changed too much. The only thing I've really seen is about a 2% increase for the overall dry conditions in South Carolina, and North Carolina is pretty much nearly the same. It's just 0.01% less drought. So I guess you could say that that is an improvement, but all the other numbers are pretty much the same. What you're looking at here is anything in the yellow. That is a dry environment, moderate drought, and that's the official drought tag. Once you get to moderate, that's where you have drought conditions such as the browning grass, and it could lead to some problems with some of the plants. However, it's not as big of an impact here since it is now outside of the growing season officially. And we have a couple of spots of severe drought in South Carolina and North Carolina, averaging about 2% across both of the Carolinas. And I hate to say it, but we don't really have too much rain on the way. But if you were to pick a time to have a drought, there's never a good time. It truly is this time of year, because it's this time of year that you can actually overcome the most. Because think about it, you don't have as much green that is going to be sucking up a lot of that moisture, so it allows it to sink back in the ground. There's always long-term effects such as tree damage and such, but just letting you know that we are definitely heading deeper into drought if we don't get any more rain anytime soon. And that's exactly where we're headed. So far this month, we've had less than 0.3 of an inch. We should have averaged at least over 1 and about a 1/3 inch of rain so far. That is not the case overall. And it looks like our long-term rain chances are going to be pretty much null and void through Tuesday, but I don't really see anything widespread. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We'll be okay, but things are definitely going to be heading the opposite of good as far as that realm goes. But great days on the way. 49 degrees right around Charlotte, 43 in Concord. We have 45 here in Statesville. This map is a little jarring when you look at it. You're just like, what does this mean? Well, that means it's 22 degrees warmer for you in Hickory compared to where it was just a day ago. Mount Airy, 18 degree upgrade. Even Charlotte, you're 8 degrees warmer than just a day ago, and we can really thank some of those thicker clouds that have been out and about, but these are already starting to erode. You can see it over here in Monroe. Pretty decent cloud cover has now been eroded, but then if you go over to the Charlotte area, you can see that our WCNC roof cam, our tower cam, has some thicker clouds off in the distance. But overall, these are going to erode and these are going to get out of here. So let's get right to it. So our clouds are now on the way out, and that cloud cover is going to lead to a pretty decent day. Overall, pretty sunny going forward. You're seeing some clouds that really just going to linger off towards the north, and that thicker cloud cover is now pushing its way down towards the south. I think the cloudiest part is going to be anywhere from about Statesville to Salisbury up the high country. So you're dealing with more of a partly sunny day compared to a sunnier one that we're going to see around Charlotte. That cloud cover eventually erodes later on this evening. And then we have wall-to-wall status for your Friday. Friday, I don't even think you have a cloud in the sky, and that's from the mountains to the seashore. Really perfect weather across the Carolinas. Heading into the weekend, this isn't a bad thing, just increasing some clouds for your Saturday. Thicker clouds per chance heading into your Saturday evening and beyond. Our next chance for rain, at least for the mountains, will be on Sunday early morning. I think that we see some rain. I think it could be on and off along the Tennessee border through the first half of your Sunday, and eventually a front is going to pass, and that front is going to cool us down, not substantially, but back to where we should be. But this warm-up that we're about to see is amazing. 76 degrees, 77 on Saturday and Sunday for the 15th and 16th of November. That's literally the halfway point, and at that point, we should be averaging about the lower 60s, not 64, and 64 is where we're dropping down to for the minimum on Monday. But the good news is we're not seeing an epic drop. You don't have any big Arctic air building in like what we had on Monday and Tuesday, where it felt more like January. Instead, you just return to the normal. So it really, even at that point, each and every day over the next 7, I could even say over the next 10, for our highs and our lows, all of them are trending above normal for our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. So that is an amazing situation. No weather impacts to go around. Of course, we'll let you know when that changes, and Majestic's going to let you know our traffic changes right now.
All right, let's get to it. We are heading into our Thursday morning, nearing 9 a.m. this morning, and it has been busy out on those area roadways. This is I-77 at Tyvola. Right now, you can see traffic is moving rather slowly, mainly in those northbound lanes where we have that backup. You can see lots of accidents out there that are active for you this morning. This is one of our newest ones that I want you to know about. It's going to be on Freedom Drive at Moorhead Street. You can see inbound lanes right here, stop and go traffic because of that. In addition to this, we're still following Wilkinson Boulevard. It is blocked eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. A serious accident this morning involving a pedestrian did lead to a fatality this morning. They're asking to just avoid that area as there is an ongoing investigation. New crash, Park Road. If you take Park Road, you can see those delays there at Burnin Drive. That's where we do have some yellow, so not a significant delay, just might slow you down a couple of minutes. And then finally right here, I-77 northbound at exit 3 Arrowwood Road. That's where we do have a current ongoing crash, but you can see I-77 inbound is just slow moving all the way into Uptown. We're watching several things for you this morning. Keep all of it in mind. We'll have another check on traffic coming up here soon.
Majestic, thanks. Of course, we continue to follow that story after several reports that Border Patrol agents could be coming here to Charlotte after they leave Chicago. We want to share again with you that statement from CMPD this morning in response to those reports that Charlotte could be the focus of a new immigration operation. The department clarifies that it has no authority to enforce federal immigration laws, adding, quote, CMPD does not participate in ICE operations, nor are we involved in the planning of these federal activities. Again, the timeline of any of these operations remains unclear. This is a story that we will continue to follow throughout the day right here on WCNC Charlotte and streaming on WCNC Plus.
And continuing our coverage this morning, the parents of a 6-year-old girl who was found dead in Gaston County pool are filing a federal civil rights lawsuit. They made the announcement yesterday in Uptown. Last May, 6-year-old Ariana Baldwin was found unresponsive in a backyard pool. County records show Ariana was at a friend's house to celebrate a birthday. They are now left searching for answers.
We are here today for Miss Baldwin, here to seek justice. We're here to seek answers for reasons why the family has not been able to get those for 18 months. This family has suffered a lot, but nothing will ever give them the comfort that they do truly deserve when it comes down to this situation.
Ariana's parents say Gaston County authorities did not conduct a thorough investigation.
8:41 now. This morning, more help is on the way to businesses impacted by Hurricane Helene. Leaders announcing another nearly $14 million in grants to 19 small business recovery projects in Western North Carolina. Among the largest awards, a $2.5 million allocation to Asheville to repair sidewalks and replace historic curbing in Biltmore Village. This particular grant program has about $32 million left.
And you know what, guys? The snow has fallen here in North Carolina. We love to see it, but if you really want to know what this winter weather forecast is going to look like, don't worry, we've got you. Meteorologist Brad Panovich will have his predictions next Tuesday at 6:30 right here on WCNC Plus. You don't want to miss it.
And a reminder that WCNC Charlotte teaming up with Nourish Up to help our neighbors in need. Of course, if you would like to send a donation, there is still time. All you have to do is text Stuff the Truck to 50155, and your impact will go even further as Lowe's is matching every donation dollar to dollar up to $100,000.
Time now 8:45. One, Idaho families. Pets are bringing the community together, and it's not what you're expecting.
Not at all. Sahana Patel shows us when neighbors need to relax, they just grab a leash and walk one of their goats.
While most people prefer dogs and cats for pets, the Ching family decided to adopt goats.
We could use goats to help eat the weeds, clear the area, and be something kind of fun and different to have in the neighborhood and also for ourselves.
Turns out they weren't the only ones who fell in love with these four-legged farm animals.
People come by to the goat area and then, just enjoy watching the goats. So we thought about like making this as a community engagement.
That's how Ching Goat was born, a free neighborhood activity where anyone can walk, feed, and hang out with these neighborhood celebrities.
So many people, they'll even just drive by, they'll roll down the window, just be like, "Ah, she got Grimsby and her daughter Cupido." Oh, yeah.
The Ching say it's become a popular activity, especially among Boise State students in the neighborhood looking for a mental health break.
And you can just like forget everything and just really be present in that moment and just look at these cute little goats and relax.
When they're not on a stroll, you can actually watch them from home on a 24/7 live stream.
Coworkers who, are in other states, even other countries, and so they log on as a mental health break.
Oftentimes they'll be sitting out and like sunning themselves or just chilling, and it's lovely to just see them enjoy life.
And these aren't just mental health breaks for humans.
So even if we take two out, the other two feel like they're left behind and they'll start crying.
Neighbors say the goats are putting this corner of the Boise Bench on the map.
When we meet new people and we try to tell them where we live, oftentimes we'll say, "We're right by the people with the goats." And if they know what that means, then they're great people.
Interesting.
I mean, listen, I've heard of goat yoga, but I guess it helps if you want to take a mental health break or walk.
They're great
the
pets.
goat. And you know this how?
Because back in college, friends and I, we had a goat, but then we didn't know you couldn't have goats in Tallahassee city limits at Florida State. So we had a letter on our door saying, "We have been notified you have an unauthorized animal on the premises, goat. Please remove goat by 1 p.m. Saturday at face eviction."
What happened? What did you do
so
with it?
we brought goat to a lovely farm in Valdosta.
Okay.
Yeah, and goat lived a merry life. His name was Billy Goat McJagger.
I love
He's friends with
goats.
all of us, and the height that goat could jump was crazy. All of a sudden, you hear a big
sure.
crash
Yeah.
the next day.
Why can they jump so high? They jump so high and they love to eat. And I'm not surprised by the story because I used to live really close to Idaho.
Yes.
And so people literally would just walk their farm animals.
Have you guys heard of the fainting goats? Have you seen them?
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah,
why
it's
do
not
they
a bad
faint?
thing. It's like they just like fall over for like a
That's what
few
they do.
minutes.
Oh, that would
and-
stress me out.
And then they just come back. It's actually kind of funny.
And-
But
and-
they're
A little
fine.
cat nap.
They're-
They needed to take a nap.
And a baby goat jumping is one of my favorite things. Where they're kind of like this.
I really like goat
They're
cheese.
cute.
Goat cheese.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents in that.
But I think right now, what are we doing? Are we going to weather? Are we taking a
No,
break?
we're gonna take a break.
We're
Talk
taking
about
a
goat milk.
break.
Weather-
We'll be back to talk about the weather and less about goats.
No, maybe. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Chris Mulkey, your local goat expert, here to talk about more pet goats. Just joking. I'm here to talk about your Sugar Mountain camera, and we can see some activity here because officially Sugar Mountain opens up at 9 a.m. until 4:30, and the season officially began for them on Tuesday. So yeah, we can see some active skiers getting ready to ramp up the day. Some ski patrolmen were around as well, or ski patrol women as well. And it looks like it's going to be a fantastic day on top of the mountains. It's a little bit warmer. Whenever you got the blue skies like this with some fresh snow that fell not too long ago, a lot of this is man-made, of course. Is a perfect time for skiing. You also have something that's called warm air advection that literally is just a transport of warmer air higher up in the atmosphere. So that means the mountaintops will be warmer than they otherwise are. So something really cool that's happening there. So happy skiing for all. Meanwhile, on top of Beach Mountain, you're seeing some steps here, but not nearly as active as what we have over on Sugar Mountain for the time being. Current temperatures on top of the mountainsides, we actually have temperatures in the 40s, 44 around Lincoln, and then 49 degrees around the Charlotte area. Still rocking 55 in Hickory. That's just absolutely substantial. A great day on the way wherever you look. I think you're going to have more clouds to kick off the morning, but you're expecting that cloud cover to erode, allowing for a mostly sunny afternoon overall. And then we should have a clearing sky just in time for your Friday. Friday, I don't have a cloud in the sky. It's going to be a good one. One last look at your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. There it is, Saturday and Sunday. I can't choose what is my pick of the week yet. As of right now, I think Sunday is going to be the sunnier day. It's the warmer day as well, so we'll call Sunday the pick of the week. After that, we see a downfall back to the 60s, but nothing below normal. Everything is above average over the next 7 days. Let's see the status of our traffic, though, with Majestic.
It is slow moving out there, especially right here on I-77 still. This is right around exit 5. Those inbound lanes moving very slowly. Southbound lanes not too bad, though. We are still following multiple things for you. This crash not cleared yet. It's one of our newer ones. It'll be on Freedom Drive at Moorhead Street. You can see that slow-moving traffic, kind of even stop-and-go traffic, and this is still not cleared. We've been following this for hours now. Wilkinson Boulevard is still blocked eastbound between Donald Ross Road and Ashley Road. You can see people are trying to just take Donald Ross Road to get around it. It was a serious accident involving a pedestrian that did lead to a fatality this morning. To the south, a crash right here. If you take Park Road, seems like those inbound lanes may be delayed just a few minutes at Vernon Drive. And then as we're heading over towards I-77, we've been talking about a crash that was right here on Arrowwood Road. That's exit 3, but it has since been cleared. However, I-77 still moving rather slowly. And then finally, here we go. Our last crash here at Seacroft Road at Tyvola. That orange just meaning slow moving traffic, but at least it's not stop and go. All right, we're going to send it over to my good friend Larry Sprinkle.
Hi, the story Sprinkle time for this day in history, November 13th, and it's all about football. Well, football as it was played back on November 13th, 1875. Here's the actual program. Harvard versus Yale football match Saturday, November 13th, 1875. And it was the very first college football game with teams wearing uniforms. November 13th, 1875, Harvard taking on Yale in that football match, as they called it back then. This is Yale and the uniforms of the day. That's right, those were the football uniforms in 1875. And this is the Harvard team. Well, what about the game itself? Harvard 4, Yale 0. It was a mix of rugby and soccer rules. 15 players on each team. November 13th, 1875, the first college game where the teams wore uniforms. I'm Larry Sprinkle, and that's on this day in history.
All right, Larry, thanks so much for that. Well, we are going to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here streaming on WCNC Plus. Coming up at the top of the hour, our own Jane Monreal is going to take over from our live Impact News studio. She'll have the latest breaking news happening here across the Charlotte area as well as around the country, including the end of the 43-day-long government shutdown finally coming to an end with the president signing the bill last night.
Good morning, everybody. We have some thicker clouds out and about this morning for some of us, but all in all, it does look like it's going to turn out to be a mostly sunny to a partly cloudy day at worst. High temperatures in the upper 60s, so just 2 degrees warmer than what we had yesterday. 74 tomorrow, not a cloud in the sky for your Friday. We increased the clouds for your Saturday, but look at these temperatures, 76, 77. That's feeling like early October, not early November. Enjoy it, huzzah. And then 64 degrees will be the cool down, and that's a back to normal high for your Monday. And then we ramp right back up to about 70 degrees with a few more clouds and one rain chance on Tuesday. So all in all, a great looking 70 forecast brought to you by the Jerry Hunt Super Center. Let's get right over to Majestic for your morning commute.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. Time to wake up and get the day started. A few things to let you know about our drive times this morning. They don't look the best, but they're also not the worst we've ever seen. If you're coming in from Salisbury into Charlotte, it's going to take you around 50 minutes to get into town. As we're looking at I-77, this is Tyvola. We're looking at just slow-moving traffic. We don't have any crashes there, just a lot of people all heading in the same direction. Although we do have our own fair share of crashes that are currently ongoing. This one here, Freedom Drive at Moorhead Street, we do have those delays. And then this one is still blocked off, Wilkinson Boulevard at Donald Ross Road.